Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Adil Raja. I welcome you to my platform, Soldier Speaks English. There is never a dull day in Pakistan or in South Asia, but particularly in Pakistan these days, where a military dictator, in fact, is the de facto ruler. And his name is Field Marshal, self promoted Field Marshal Asim Munir. He's ruling the country with an iron fist. There is gross human rights violations going on in Pakistan. Pakistan's most popular leader, Imran Khan, is in jail. He's been voted in by 90% of the people of Pakistan, but that really doesn't matter. The constitution of Pakistan really doesn't matter for the Pakistani military, of which I've been a third generation member. For 21 years, I've served the Pakistan military, and constitution is considered a piece of paper for the Pakistani military. And now it is being amended. Even that piece of paper is being amended at will, and it is being amended in a way that the Pakistani military de facto ruler Asim Munir wants to become a king. In fact, the Guardian told him that he is the king, and rise and rise of the king. This was a story by the Guardian today, in fact. So today we have with us to discuss all this and much more, because there are winds of change in the USA, and the winds of change are real. Why? Because President Trump, termed Asim Munir as his favorite field marshal. But as per Dr. Salman Ahmad, our guest today, who is the ambassador of the United Nations, goodwill ambassador of the United Nations, as per him, he's joining us from New York. He is not the favorite field marshal anymore, for all the valid reasons. And the United Nations House of Representatives have given out a very detailed, they've demanded a very detailed through a very detailed letter to the president. They have demanded sanctions against Asim Munir. So what changed in that the favorite field marshal turned out to be a failed field marshal who's awaiting his notification for his reign as the king, and the notification is yet to come. Even if it comes, our reports suggest that he won't be able to survive this his reign as the king. So we welcome Dr. Salman Ahmad, and we ask him straight away that what is actually going on in the USA. What are these winds of change and what is the change in the US policy towards Pakistan, which is coming to light right now? Dr. Salman Ahmad, welcome, please.
Thank you, Adil, for inviting me. Adil, for your English audience, I think it's important to just provide them the context that we are speaking today in. Both you are a overseas Pakistani based in England. Your wife and friends, all of you have been threatened by Asim Munir's, the Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi, who in a public press conference threatened all those quote unquote overseas Pakistanis, including myself, that if you speak against the king, Asim Munir, then we will drag you back home and throw you in the dungeon just like Imran Khan. And for your
And Dr. Salman, today they've handed over an extradition request to the British High Commissioner Jane Marriott about me and Barrister Shahzad Akbar. They want us to be extradited for anti-state propaganda. Just imagine. Yeah.
So obviously, Adil, freedom of expression is an international statute. It's a human right which is signed on by not only Britain but the United States, Pakistan. I mean, all civilized countries have signed on to this. That freedom of expression, freedom of speech, is protected. It's in the United Nations Charter. Now, Adil, a lot of your viewers who are watching in English might not know. Aside from being a UN Goodwill Ambassador, I've been an artist for Pakistan who's responsible part of sharing two alternative national anthems. One is Dil Dil Pakistan, the other is Jazba Junoon. Yet, even a guy like me cannot go back to Pakistan. I'm in exile. My family in Pakistan has been harassed, coerced, abducted, tortured, and because of that, just because of the fact that my friends and family in Pakistan cannot even speak to me over the phone, I went to the administration, and this was during the Biden administration, and then after that, the Trump administration. Now, the long and short of it is that the push made by Pakistani Americans like myself, like a journalist Ahmad Noorani, there's hundreds and thousands of Pakistani Americans who are calling up our lawmakers, calling up President Trump, telling Secretary of State Marco Rubio that Asim Munir is a dark tetrad. Dark tetrad meaning he's mentally deranged. You cannot have a man uh, who leads a nuclear armed country of 250 million people who wants to start a nuclear war with India. You cannot have him in the driver's seat. So
Hmm.
the backdrop to the letter you mentioned is this. If you could just read the main points of the letter, I'll expand on that, of how this affects Asim Munir and his people like Mohsin Naqvi.
Hmm, You're right. You're right. You're right. But what is the difference? I mean, we've seen this document. Please explain this U.S. Congress of the United States. It's a lot of congressmen are there in this letter, and I mean, Dr. Salman Ahmad, they've signed such a letter. They've demanded sanctions on Nasim Munir before this as well. What is different this time around?
Great question there, Adil. So, Adil, uh, we behind the scenes kept reminding President Trump that you made a promise. In November of last year, when he won the election, multiple pro Trump administration people told us that we take Pakistani Americans' demand of freeing Imran Khan. That was one of our biggest demands because the Biden administration failed us. So we went to the Trump administration and said we will vote for you in the swing states. The Muslim American, Pakistani American vote was incredibly important. And they kept saying, people like Richard Grenell, who I was in contact with, said, Pakistani government has to end the charade and free Imran Khan. And like that, Representative Joe Wilson, Jack Bergman, I mean, I could go, the list is huge. But what then we saw was that all our efforts, which are legal efforts of going to our own government and telling them to free Imran Khan, Asim Munir threw millions and millions of dollars through lobbyists, and he made, as he is the deceiver, as he is known, has been known in the Pakistan army as a deceiver, he told the Trump administration multiple things, multiple promises, among them that Afghanistan, I will stabilize Afghanistan.
Regime change in Afghanistan,
Well,
stabilize
yeah,
Afghanistan through a regime change. Yeah.
exactly. That I will like I am so powerful. This is what Asim Munir was saying to Trump, was that I am so powerful over a lunch. By the way,
Yeah.
over lunch in June, he said I'm so powerful in Pakistan, and people love me because I'm the field marshal, and I have won a war against India, which, by the way, was Trump had to intervene to call the ceasefire. So he was talking through his ass, excuse my language. The Asimony told Trump that I'm going to get you minerals, oil, cryptocurrency, that the United States is going to be so happy with me, they will never think about democracy and Imran Khan. Okay? So Trump gave him that leeway in June. But from June to December, all of Asim Munir's promises have disappeared like dust. There's a saying in America called a snake oil salesman. When you saw Asim Munir in the White House,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, just imagine. Here's a self-nominated field marshal who stands with rare earth minerals in the White House in a suit, tie, right, and tells President Trump, "I'm going to get you all of this." So, and at the same time, Adil, we were telling the people very close to Trump, in the highest power, that he will not be able to deliver on even one thing. And now, because that has been made completely clear. And I have to also say to you that we kept saying to them that Imran Khan is an independent thinking nationalist, but he will never lie to you. So for the United States to put their weight behind Asim Munir and the dynastic puppets, which is Zardari and Sharif, is recipe for disaster. Because Asim Munir, what he did also, Adil, we have to tell the viewers this, that he made a speech on the 16th of April saying that all Hindus should be wiped out. That he made this speech in Islamabad. On April 16th, he makes that speech, and on the 22nd of April, the Pahalgam attack takes place in India, which sparked the May 7th to May 11th conflict, which almost went nuclear. He
And
used that conflict.
and Asim Munir used that conflict to promote himself as the field marshal.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Adil, also for your viewers, independent sources, including your own, verifies that the 16th April attack in Pahalgam was orchestrated by those close to Asim Munir because they wanted India
It
to
was
come
the
in.
ISI. It was the ISI Special Operation Division, which was tasked by Asim Munir himself. It was Major General Shahab Aslam who was tasked by General Asim Munir himself to conduct the operation. Yeah,
So, Adil, all of that, there's a saying that Abraham Lincoln said that you can fool some of the people all of the time, all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. And Asim Munir's time has run out because he, in the like a like a hyper social climber. He went all across the world, met with MBS, met with the Qataris, met with Donald Trump multiple times, and he thought that was his stamp of approval for Pakistan, and he could become the commander of the defense forces. So he bulldozed this 27th Amendment. In this 27th Amendment, he gets lifelong immunity, and he
yeah.
controls everything. Like as the Guardian, you just mentioned that they're saying King Asim Munir. He wants to be king. Now, as you know, the world is not perfect, but they're not stupid. What has happened is,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so Adil, 44 lawmakers have written an incredibly powerful letter to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, saying that we Pakistani Americans had to face transnational repression because of Asim Munir. Asim Munir's government and his top stakeholders should have their visa restrictions, never to be allowed in America, should have their bank accounts freezed, and there should be accountability. And it
Do you
also
think?
says,
Do you think, Dr. Salman Ahmad, they're going to go through with it?
well, let me give you some views just in the last 3 days. You saw for the first time US Consul General in Peshawar, Tim, going to meet Imran Khan's chief minister, Sohail Afridi, on the same day that Imran Khan's sister, Dr. Uzma, goes to meet Imran Khan. Now,
Yeah.
for the people who know, that's a huge sign that the US government official is publicly meeting with an incarcerated political prisoner, illegally incarcerated political prisoner, and meeting with Chief Minister Suhail Afridi, who Imran Khan has said now to go on the front foot, right? Imran Khan, after meeting his sister, has relayed this through a tweet and also through her press conference that Suhail Afridi and all Pakistanis need to go on the front foot now. And there's no playing on the both sides of the wicket, which means that you're you're dancing with the devil also, but you're also trying to show yourself to be loyal to Imran Khan. He's
Yeah,
saying
that's what the deceiver does. That's what the deceiver does. That's what he is. Yeah.
exactly. So in my view, Adil, this letter is one sign that America thinking has shifted. Before the retirement of General Kurilla, right? Who was Asim Munir's biggest supporter in the
Yeah. Beneficiary. Yeah.
and
Asim is
General.
his beneficiary. He was his mentor. Yeah, it can be said. Yeah.
So General Kurilla basically said to General Trump, President Trump, that if you stick with Asim Munir, he's going to deliver on all the things that he's promising. But Trump has a very short attention span. Adil, he took all of that, and then he finally decided that this guy is talking through his ass, meaning Asim Munir is talking through his ass, and
So what was
there's no
what
General
was the
Kurilla around
all
now.
right, all right. So in all fairness, what was the proclamations, Salman Bhai, in which he was saying, "Hey, now boy, listen, he's my favorite field marshal." I'm mocking the American accent. I don't talk like that. But what was all that about then?
Well, here's the thing. Asim Munir, amongst the promises he made, he also went forward to say that Pakistan will send a quote unquote peacekeeping force to Gaza, and which will really provide defense for Israel, and Prime Minister Netanyahu. See, he went overboard, and the fact is, Adil, uh, former U.S. envoy Zalmay Khalilzad has publicly said this. He said this that Asim Munir is mentally deranged. A man, I'm paraphrasing him, but this is a public tweet that he made, that a man with Asim Munir's derangement should never be at the head of any institution, certainly not a country with nuclear weapons. And Asim Munir is showing more and more his propensity for violence because he's droned not only his own people in KP and Balochistan, but in Afghanistan. So he's picking up fights with India, with Afghanistan, inside of Pakistan. What is that going to lead to? You're the military strategist. That is a recipe for disaster and for perpetual war.
You're right. You're right. And but do you really see, in all honesty, final question, Dr. Salman Ahmad, being a proponent of Imran Khan, being his supporter since you were almost a teenager, and you have spent your entire life alongside him. Although there were certain differences, we're not going to talk about that a lot of because that's not a topic. Differences very recently. We're not going to talk about that right now, but we will if IK allows it. If IK allows us, in fact, you know. But you know what I'm talking about. But in all honesty, do you think these could be termed as the winds of change in the USA with regards to Asim Munir, and his time is now over and he's done, maybe dusted in the future?
Well, look at the signs. They say look at the tea leaves. You have the Guardian uh, publishing this article in which it says that here's a man, Asim Munir, who wants absolute power. But in the end, the Guardian also writes that without money, I mean, what is power going to do if you can't run a country, if you can't run a family?
Yeah, yeah,
Basically,
like Pakistan. Pakistan has got a $26 billion loan to be paid in next few months to the Chinese commercial banks, and the Chinese government. The Chinese government is saying that listen, these are commercial banks. We cannot roll over this loan. You have to pay this. Pakistanis don't have that kind of money to pay that. They'll have to go to IMF, and if they'll go to IMF, I mean, I believe that they're going to ask them to, give up their nuclear program. So they're in a cash 22 situation. The military is not going to allow that. So Asim Munir, is it fair to say, is a dead man walking then?
so Asim Munir has dug such a deep hole that only the dead can fill up that hole. Think about this. Uh, the the current trade deficit of Pakistan is $15.5 billion. It's
Correct.
in just in 5 months, 37% that trade deficit has grown. The IMF in its report has said $5,030 trillion have been siphoned out of Pakistan by the government of Pakistan during Asim Munir's tenure. So look at when I say read the tea leaves, Adil, that you have the Americans turning against Asim Munir. You have the international media writing about the transnational repression, the desire for absolute power. You have 44 US lawmakers writing a letter about Asim Munir and his people who are committing transnational repression. You have uh, the international community, including the United Nations, saying that Imran Khan is being arbitrarily held. Every news media network is saying that Imran Khan should be allowed his human rights, which the jail manual gives. So the pressure for Imran Khan is exponentially growing. And I really feel in this the perfect storm, Asim Munir will not survive. What is it, for him to survive? He needs a benefactor. The Saudis are not going to come and help him. The Qataris are not going to help him. UAE is not going to help him, and the Chinese already know that he's a deceiver. And he lost President Trump, who used to call him my favorite field marshal. He lost him. I'm telling you this because, and finally, I'll tell you all this, that the panic that is coming from Mohsen Naqvi, who was threatening people like myself and you, is coming because he's also sensing the end is near. So now, when you see a rogue cornered, they start saying stupid things. So the New York mayor, Zohran Mamdani, who we have told him about the genocide that's come from Prime Minister Netanyahu, which the International Criminal Court has alluded to. Zoran Mamdani has agreed that he will never allow Netanyahu to come into New York City. The same thing we are saying to him about Asim Munir and Mohsen Naqvi. Uh, visa restrictions, asset freezes, and accountability. And finally, Adil, before the midterm polls are coming in America, Pakistani Americans are saying to President Trump, "Keep your promise, free Imran Khan."
Well, with this, I believe that in the capitalist society, my closing comments are that it is the money which makes the mayor go, which made the mayor go, as I say. So Asim Munir's got nothing to offer with regards to making money for either Trump or the USA. He only wants to, extract money from the USA, for which he offered a rare earth elements deal. But the US Geological Survey and the British Geological Survey and independent surveys confirmed that there are no proven so-called trillions-dollar reserve of the REE. And whatsoever reserves are there in Pakistan, they are being extracted by the Chinese anyway. The Chinese are not going to let anyone come into this business, especially in Pakistan, which is their backyard, and they've got 92% monopoly in the refinement of the REE. So Asim Ali could not deliver. Then he wanted to deliver on presenting Bagram Air Base to President Trump. Bagram Air Base, President Trump. Did you get it? No, you didn't, because Asim Munir cannot deliver. No, sir, he cannot. Then Asim Munir promised his own people, his own military, that listen, I'm going to get you the US dollars. I'm going to get you the price you want to be deployed in Gaza. Well, the Israelis got different ideas. They're saying, no, if you want to come, don't ask for $10,000. We're going to give you $100. And what is the worth of $100 per month anyway? So Asim Munir has failed his own military. He has failed his own nation, his own country, and the international establishment as well. So in that context, we say metaphorically that he's a dead man walking. And that is our final comment. Thank you so very much, Dr. Salman Ahmad. Ladies
Adil,
and
I'll just
gentlemen,
say one line.
please
From
go
the
on.
favorite field marshal, Asim Munir is now the failed field marshal.
Failed Field Marshal, definitely. Thank you so very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. Join our English channel, and you're witnessing it on multiple platforms on our My X at Soldier Speaks, at Soldier Speaks English at YouTube, and on Twitch.tv, on Rumble, Odyssey at Soldier Speaks. Please subscribe to the channel for if you want to witness, if you want to watch this kind of a content. Take care. Thank you, Dr. Salman Ahmed.
You're welcome. Thank you.